Olá, pessoal, bom dia. Aqui quem fala é Manuela Rainho. Sou uma empreendedora, uma inquieta. Já estou nesse mercado de inovação em saúde há mais de uma década. Atualmente, eu sou vice-presidente da Associação Brasileira de Startups de Saúde, CMO da ABSS. Eu vou explicar um pouquinho o que é essa associação. A Associação Brasileira de Startups de Saúde, ela é uma associação sem fins lucrativos, tá? Nós somos todos voluntários. Ela nasce através das dores dos próprios empreendedores, né, das startups. Então, a gente conecta todo esse ecossistema da saúde, ajudando as startups a implementarem as suas soluções no mercado que ainda é muito tradicional aqui no Brasil. Então, a gente tem como propósito em conectar e colaborar, unindo o governo, a academia, né, que são as universidades, os prestadores de serviços, os profissionais de saúde e startups, porque aí junto, né, a gente consegue resolver os nossos problemas reais. Então, assim, é só uma introdução. Eu estou muito feliz por estar aqui com vocês, estou bem curiosa para saber como é que é o ecossistema de inovação em saúde na Estônia. Eu acho que vai ser bem legal. Obrigada pelo convite. Rafael, é com você.
Obrigado, Manuela. Bom dia aí, pessoal, tudo bem? Um abraço aí a todo mundo que está acompanhando, ou a gravação também. E meu nome é Rafael Fassoni, sou cofundador do Estônia Hub. Estou aqui com a nossa colega Camila, que lidera a nossa iniciativa de saúde digital entre Brasil e Estônia. E hoje nós temos a honra de receber a nossa palestrante, Piret Hirv. Ela é líder da área de saúde digital do Parque Tecnológico da Estônia. Ela vai falar um pouco mais o que eles fazem, por que eles são relevantes. E queria, né, incentivar vocês que mandem comentários aqui no chat, as perguntas, e a gente vai respondendo no final. Vamos fazer aí um debate. A apresentação dela vai ser em inglês, então quem quiser ouvir no idioma original em inglês, é só deixar do jeito que está. Quem quiser a tradução, eu vou pedir para vocês, na barra aqui de baixo, tem um botão chamado interpretação, vocês mudam isso para português, que aí nós temos a nossa tradutora, nossa amiga Betânia, e aí ela vai traduzir a fala da Piret, e aí vocês conseguem ouvir, então, a tradução em português. Beleza? Se tiver alguma dificuldade, dá um toque aí, a Camila dá um apoio para vocês. Então, sem mais delongas, eu vou passar aqui um contexto rápido sobre Estônia, compartilhar uns slides, e os slides que a gente vai apresentar vão ser compartilhados com vocês, então podem ficar tranquilo. O importante é conseguir pegar aí o contexto e fazer as perguntas. Então, vamos lá. Aqui. Maravilha. Bom, acho que todo mundo está visualizando a tela aqui. Opa, começar do começo. Beleza. Nós, enquanto Estônia Hub, nós somos uma empresa focada na organização de missões entre Brasil e Estônia. E a gente trabalha com parceiros como a ABSS, né, ao qual a gente é muito grato pela parceria, pelo espaço, para a gente contar um pouco sobre Estônia especificamente. Estônia é um país pequeno em território e população, fica localizado no norte da Europa, 1.300.000 habitantes, e 450.000 habitantes é a capital, Tallinn, que é onde eu moro, passo boa parte do tempo. Nós temos equipe no Brasil e na Estônia, né, e tudo mais. E a Estônia faz parte do euro, e da zona do euro e da União Europeia. Aqui eu não vou detalhar muito agora, mas é só para mostrar para vocês, né, o histórico de ocupações e invasões que a Estônia sofreu, porque isso ajuda a entender por que a Estônia entrou nessa rota digital. A Estônia, a última dominação foi parte da União Soviética, ela ficou 50 anos, e aí desde 91, então, a Estônia é um país independente. O interessante de olhar é que se a gente analisasse 1940, a renda per capita entre Estônia e Finlândia era 1 para 1, ou seja, os dois países quase o mesmo nível de riqueza. Só que aí a Estônia é anexada na União Soviética, a Finlândia não, e aí tudo muda, né? Porque depois de 50 anos, quando a Estônia vai se comparar com a Finlândia de novo, essa renda per capita que era 1 para 1 vira 15 para 1, ou seja, a Finlândia é 15 vezes mais rica que a Estônia. E isso dá um choque nos estonianos, eles sentem que eles pararam no tempo e eles precisam, né, resolver uma série de problemas. E aí que eles começam, então, a tomar decisões mais ousadas, inclusive essa questão de digitalização, porque eles precisam reduzir custos, eles precisam gerar receita, né, e tudo mais. Então, esse é um primeiro ponto importante que eu queria deixar para vocês como mensagem. E aqui, quando a gente olha a estratégia da Estônia como um todo, né, acho que a Piret vai falar alguma coisa sobre isso também, que aí é como é que a Estônia sai de ex-União Soviética para se tornar a nação mais digital do planeta, né? Que é um feito e tanto, pensando na situação tão difícil que eles se encontravam. Aqui também daria para falar por alguns minutos, mas eu vou abrir toda o que a gente montou como fórmula, como análise, que são elementos necessários para essa transformação da Estônia. Tem a questão de vontade política, né? Não dá para fazer as mudanças sem ter o governo, as lideranças, né, apoiando. Tem a questão jurídica, às vezes se fala pouco, mas aqui que está a semente de governo digital, de um ambiente de negócios pró-startups, pró-inovação. A questão da educação, a Estônia sempre focou e foca nisso, é a quarta melhor educação do mundo pelo ranking do PISA. Aqui, quando você fala de ambiente de negócio, não só de ajudar a nascer e crescer novas empresas, mas também atrair empresas e investimentos estrangeiros. E aí você tem a base e o topo da pirâmide. Na base você tem a sociedade civil, ou seja, o povo estoniano conduzindo seu próprio destino, né? Até porque é do povo que sai a classe política, que fazem as leis, é o povo que vai receber a educação e que vai empreender, etc, etc. Então, o indivíduo, ele está no centro de tudo na Estônia, né? Tudo é feito por ele e para ele. E a tecnologia como pilar da economia, 10% da força de trabalho da Estônia trabalha em TI, e também como o software, a solução em si, o uso de tecnologia nas diferentes áreas do governo, da sociedade de modo geral, né? Então, aqui você tem alguns elementos interessantes para ajudar a entender. E aí, deu resultado? Deu. É só a gente olhar o gráfico de novo. Então, lá em 1993, a Estônia, com um PIB per capita de $1.200, que é quase $100 por mês, R$ 500, vai, para chegar agora em 2020 com 23.300. Ou seja, é um salto gigantesco, né? Um crescimento de renda per capita de 20 vezes em 27 anos. É difícil achar algum país que conseguiu um feito assim. Talvez Coreia do Sul, Singapura, esses outros, né? Mas a ideia e o objetivo sempre foi isso. Não foi a tecnologia pela tecnologia, né? Então, para a gente como empreendedor, ou até como papel de líder do setor público, né, é importante olhar isso, que é o grande objetivo. Porque quando o país cresce, abre-se oportunidades, né, investimentos e tudo mais. Aqui tem algumas frases que ajudam também a captar um pouco desse espírito da Estônia. Eles falam muito isso, né? Digitalizar sem desburocratizar e transformar computador em máquina de escrever. A única forma da Estônia alcançar os países ocidentais era sair do passado, pular o presente e ir direto para o futuro. Nós temos e usamos o que qualquer outro governo no mundo tem: internet, pessoas, software e leis. Então, acho que isso também mostra esse espírito. Tallinn, uma cidade encantadora, eu sou suspeito para falar, você tem a parte moderna, tem a parte medieval, tem a parte até mais soviética ainda, que está lá conservada, né? Então é uma cidade interessante de se visitar. Você tem também inovações, um ônibus autônomo que opera em algumas partes da cidade, você tem um robô delivery, né, que faz as entregas e tal, também autônomo. Enfim, e aí quando vocês perguntam, beleza, e para a área da saúde, e para mim, né, empreendedor, e para mim que estou buscando oportunidades de internacionalização, por que eu devo me conectar com a Estônia? A gente entende que são 5 grandes argumentos, a Piri também vai reforçar nisso, então vou dar uma passada bem rápida. Primeiro é a questão do ecossistema de saúde digital, considerado o número 1 do mundo pela Fundação Bertelsmann e recentemente número 1 na Europa pelo RIMS. O programa de medicina personalizada, né, do Estonian Biobank, também de mapear e fazer o tratamento de medicina personalizada, baseado no DNA de cada pessoa, paciente. O sistema de health de modo geral, você tem não só os serviços públicos digitais, 99%, e aí você tem, obviamente, dentro da área da saúde, né? Prontuário eletrônico, o que eles chamam de e-ambulance, o registro médico do paciente digitalizado, questões de telemedicina, teleatendimento já resolvido, porque você pode assinar documento com validade jurídica, né, digitalmente. Então, ele compra o remédio na farmácia com o documento de identidade, né? Ele tem um chip, e aí o farmacêutico faz a leitura e já vende esse medicamento. E é um sistema de saúde de referência de modo geral, porque não só universal, mas também ele é digital, ele tem um baixo custo, tanto para o governo quanto para quem utiliza, e uma alta eficácia no sentido de agilidade de atendimento, de eficiência nos tratamentos e, obviamente, de aumento de expectativa de vida. E aí tem uma estrutura digital por trás disso, né, que é justamente o ID, que é o cartão de identidade, que aí você tem a assinatura digital atrelada, o cartão de identidade, deixa eu ver se eu encontro o meu, que é esse aqui, ó. Então, esse aqui é o meu de residente, né? Eu moro na Estônia, então tem esse cartão aqui, é o chip que ajuda a assinar documento, a fazer a identificação segura. X-Road é uma plataforma de interoperabilidade, tema super quente na saúde, né? Que aí permite a troca de bases, de dados entre as bases, né? Então conectar o público com o privado, ou mesmo o público entre si. Uma camada de blockchain para dar rastreabilidade e segurança. a parte do e-residence, esse é um dos pontos mais interessantes, se sobrar um tempinho, acho que vale a gente falar sobre isso, que é a possibilidade de você abrir um CNPJ na Estônia sem sair do Brasil, com baixo custo e baixo risco. Então, talvez o melhor programa para internacionalização. E agora, casos de uso de inteligência artificial no governo também. Isso aqui é só uma comprovação, né? O RIMS fez um levantamento entre os países da Europa e perguntou qual que era o país modelo. E a Estônia foi o primeiro colocado, 23% dos entrevistados, dos pesquisados, especialistas na área da saúde, que é, de fato, esse país, né, modelo de inovação digital. E aí isso tem tudo, tem atraído atenção mundial, né? São muitas e muitas delegações, visitantes do mundo inteiro. Tinha agora um pessoal dos Emirados Árabes, 2 semanas nós levamos 40 brasileiros, ou seja, são mais de 10 mil visitantes por ano, e a Estônia reabriu, né? Reabriu para o mundo, questão de pandemia, ok, dá para visitar, questão geopolítica também, tem uma embaixada, né, do Brasil em Tallinn, enfim, então a gente reforça aí o convite. E aí, depois nós vamos falar mais sobre isso, acho que não é o foco tanto agora, mas tem aí uma iniciativa que nós vamos divulgar em breve, em primeira mão para vocês, que é uma missão para conhecer a Estônia, fazer uma imersão, passar uma semana na Estônia, né, para trabalhar aí conteúdos, contatos, experiência, né? Nós vamos fazer visitas técnicas, falar com as principais lideranças, instituições da Estônia, falar sobre saúde e sobre saúde digital de modo geral, e abrir para vocês, né, esse ecossistema. Quais são as principais estratégias, qual o modelo de saúde digital da Estônia, quais são contatos e oportunidades para vocês. E isso é a nossa missão, né, já para encerrar, que aí é conectar o Brasil e a Estônia e fomentar aí essa geração de parcerias, de negócios no setor público e privado. Maravilha? Então, é isso que eu tinha já para preparar o ambiente aí para a Piret. E aí agora, então, eu vou passar a bola aqui para ela. Okay, Piret, I hope I haven't taken too much of your time. Thank you very much for being with us today. And the show is all yours. Yes, we can see your screen, and now I think we can see you.
And now you can even hear me.
Yes, awesome.
Everything is good. So, yeah. Hi, my name is Piret, and I'm the manager of Connected Health Cluster here in Estonia, in Tallinn. Beautiful presentation. I understood some of the words what you said, and I recognize my hometown, Tallinn. And just one thing to make sure, we were occupied by Russia, and this was not a voluntary union, this Soviet Union. So this is something that the same shit that is happening right now in Ukraine happened to us and also to Ukraine in 40s. So
let me just highlight also that I used the word that Estonia was annexed or dominated.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I saw that.
Voluntarily joined the Soviet Union. Yeah, you're
it's totally really right. It is really important to underline this. That this was a occupation, not our free will. So, but coming back to the future where we are living right now, and about myself, I'm the manager of Connected Health Cluster, but I'm also an educated nurse. And I've studied in our University of Technology, and my major was healthcare technology. So I do have some kind of understanding how the human body works, and I also know a little bit about technologies as well. So this is my background. But yeah, Estonia, you had a beautiful picture or development about our GDP. And I will add to this, how much do we spend on health in average. So as you can see in European Union, we are a bit lower than the average spending on our healthcare. So we are doing quite well in that sense that our system is quite efficient, because we are not the top spenders in the systems, or if we compare to the other countries, but the quality of our healthcare is absolutely top level. And I have to say that this is because of the innovative solutions what we are using already in our systems. So this is actually one of the key elements. A few words about how our healthcare functions. In Estonia, we have earmarked social insurance tax, and every single person who gets salary here in Estonia, they also pay tax. And from this tax, we do fund our healthcare. Estonian government, the state is responsible for insurance coverage in Estonia. I would say that public insurance covers like 95%. If we look at the population, then 95% of total population. We do have private service providers as well, but this is quite marginalized, or this market is not big. And yes, our health insurance fund is the single public purchaser of services on the market, like the biggest one, as I said. And but on the other side, we have decentralized provider network, and these are all private operators. So we have this beautiful mix of one state-owned buyer of the solutions or services, and then we have several hospitals and family doctors who are private businesses who are providing this service, and they have a contract with our health insurance fund. And yeah, most of the services are covered by health insurance fund. Of course, this means that sometimes you have to wait, and this is one of the major issues in our healthcare. You have to wait if you want to have this public service. Sometimes people just give up and they go to private service to get it faster. But this is the situation, and the system is based on solidarity, meaning that it doesn't matter how big is your bill, like maybe they'll some sort of a replacement, some, very, very expensive, not heart replacement, but some pacemakers and really expensive, or cancer treatment, really expensive. Still, it will be funded and covered by
coberto pelo governo.
Here in Estonia, we have universal free access to the primary care, and every citizen has a family doctor, and every family has a family doctor. And actually, family doctors are the gate to the system. In some cases, or most of the cases, you can't even reach like your endocrinologue or heart doctor or any other specialist before visiting your doctor, and then you will get the referral, and then you can only visit secondary level care. So really, really strong primary care in Estonia. And why we do this? Why we do this in innovation, and what are the biggest gaps? One I mentioned already is the access. Really, you need to, because we all know that people are getting older. Also, I don't know in Brazil, but in Europe, the whole Europe is getting older. Resources are not growing. It means that we have to provide the same amount of services with the resources we have now. And we know that demand will grow, but resources probably not. So you need to provide, or you have to find a way how to access the services. So innovation is key element here. Quality, again, innovation is the key or tool to improve the quality of the services. And efficiency, as I said, again, resources are limited, so you have to be as efficient as you can. And as I showed you on my previous slide, Estonian healthcare system, I don't want to say it out loud, but it's, if we look at it, if we are honest, then it's more or less efficient. Of course, there is room for improvement, but I would say that with the resources what we have now, we can provide sufficient amount of services, and the system is quite efficient. And it's because of the digital tools and innovative tools that we are using in our system. So going to the point right away. What is the digital history in the healthcare? So the story started in '95 when the first service was launched, and this was collecting health service reimbursement invoices online. Before, it was all on the paper, and starting from '95, it was actually first like a digital tool in our system when it all started. Then the next really important milestone was electronic health record. This was launched in 2008. So the history of our electronic health record is how much? Like 14 years now, yeah. So it's quite I would say even old, because now we can see the need to update the system, and the work is ongoing actually. The next really important milestone is e-prescription service, launched in 2010. And again, 12 years old already and functioning very well. And it's covering the whole, absolutely the whole country. And we don't have prescriptions on the paper at all. So everything is online. Of course, you might ask, like, what we do with the people who are not able, willing, or for some reason can't use digital services. The answer is that we do, of course, have all the services available in analog format as well, but digital services number one. And we do not exclude anybody from this society if they don't use digital tools, but yeah, digital comes first, and then analog services are available as well. And in some cases, elderly people also can give the consent or can give the right to use digital tools to their relatives. So for instance, I can access to my mom's health record, or I had a chance, because she passed away already, but I had a chance, she gave me access to her system, and then I was able to see her medical records, or go into the pharmacy. I can also go to the pharmacy. I also can buy her medicine, although the prescription is online, and I have to present my ID card. And but yeah, I can do this for my mom, or for the elderly neighbor, or person who actually just asked me to go to the pharmacy and buy the medicine. I can do that. I only have to identify myself, so pharmacists know that this is me who is doing these transactions. So yeah, and newest one is like I would say in our system is drug interaction detection. Some sort of decision support for the doctors. You know that drugs can have a negative interaction in some cases, and then the system actually gives warning to the doctor when if she's prescribing medicines that are not doesn't match or with each other, and then the system gives warning that a doctor knows then that they have to change prescription. So this is the overall picture of nationwide services, what we have in our system. Of course, new ones are coming now almost like every 6 months, but these are the most important ones. And then let's move on. Beautiful picture. So how it actually works. Here you can see that our system is not this digital system that you were also referring to. It's not only like for the healthcare or for the education or for juridical questions. Actually, the same system applies to all the areas of life in here in Estonia. So you can see this gray cloud here and gray parts. So these are actually the parts that are similar to whatever the area of life is, like education or like, as I said, juridical questions, financial questions. So they are using the same authentication, the same secure messaging, service directories, service access, and all these kind of things. You can see also here in pink, there is Ministry of Social Affairs. This is the government strategic element, or this group of organizations who are strategically managing the whole healthcare, digital healthcare system. And then there is on the right, you can see all the stakeholders who are involved in the system, like health centers, hospitals, clinics, general practitioners, medical labs, pharmacies who are using the system. Also, our genome center is using the same system. So, or actually, our genome center is a bit separate because genome data is considered as really high risk data, and this is kept separately. So you can't, through the overall this gray system, you cannot access to your genome data directly. So here is this trick to have it safely stored somewhere where you bad guys can't access the data. And actually here is the landscape of our e-health systems. And as you can see again, probably later on, you will also share the slides, because I don't want to go in too deep. You can study by yourself how what are the different layers and what are the databases in the system. So and who is responsible of what and who is collecting what data. So it's all here on this slide. And maybe the last column, you can see that the whole system is also producing data for analytical work and for science. So we do use the data not only for developing new solutions and providing solutions, but we do use this data also for analytical work, for policy decisions, and also for science. It was mentioned during the previous presentation, this X-road, and this is the same picture of the X-road, only if we look from the angle of healthcare service provision. So all the registries who are involved in providing this nationwide digital health services are listed here. And as you can see, the communication goes through X-road, and ID card is the identification tool. So it all applies to all the services in health and care. What is important here, maybe if I explain you how our e-prescription works, then actually after visiting doctor and getting my prescription, I can go to a random hospital, maybe here in Tallinn, or maybe 200 kilometers away from Tallinn. So it doesn't matter where I go to the hospital. Of course, Estonia is a pretty small country. You might argue that it's only like, I don't know, 300 kilometers and 300 kilometers. So it's like, I don't know, probably smaller than your small village in Brazil, but the whole country. But our system is scalable. It doesn't matter how big is the amount of users behind the system. So it is scalable, and it can be implemented also in the bigger countries, not only in Estonia. And yes, I can go to the random pharmacy, and buy my medicine. And the pharmacist can actually see what kind of medicines do I have listed there. Maybe some of the prescriptions are expiring, or the whole information is visible to the pharmacist as well. So, and then I buy my medicine, and then it will be marked as bought. And also my doctor can see all the medicines that she has prescribed, and I haven't bought it. So it's kind of quality check also from the doctor's side. So if I don't buy the medicine, it means that I don't take it. So and again, a doctor can tell me that maybe you should still take this medicine. So, but it works basically in like instantly. I can't go to the after prescription, maybe like next minute I can't go, because doctor still has to upload the information. But after some time I can go and buy my medicine. And when I go to the pharmacy, I will present my ID card. They will insert my ID card to the system, and then the system starts checking whether This medicine that was prescribed is a medicine registered here in Estonia. Is the doctor valid doctor? Am I a real person from the population registry? Do I exist? So all this kind of information comes together in a eye blink, and then I can get my medicine. And also reimbursement is calculated right away. So in Estonia, most of the medicines are reimbursed, and also the reimbursement is calculated right away. So I don't have to pay full price and then claim it back later. So everything works. And this is why it's maybe also efficient, the system. And you also mentioned this personalized medicine program. It's also very important to mention here, because this is the future opportunity for scientists and for the providers of innovative solutions. So just have in mind, as I understood, you will come also to Estonia, or at least some of you, and have a visit, or some visits here. So this is something that it's worth of checking out, this personalized medicine program. And actually, we have in our genome bank, we have 250,000 donors. We are donating our genomes voluntarily, free of charge, and hoping to have later on better services in return. And not only me, but the whole the world will benefit from it. Quite high percentage of Estonian citizens are part of this our genome bank and our personalized medicine program. So that's why it is also really highly evaluated all over the world. And this genome database is connected to our health data as well. So if you take my data, my genome data, you can connect it to my health data, and then it gives you already quite beautiful picture about my health situation and health status. And here are the first applications of the program. This is the pharmacogenetic recommendations in Estonian e-prescription, for instance, or then genetic risk score for the prevention of coronary heart disease and stroke. So this all will come along the program in the future. And now about my everyday work, actually. Connected Health Cluster is a partner in health innovation. So we are kind of ecosystem, and we are providing a platform for developing innovative solutions, success stories. We are providing services to find funders, like funding opportunities. We are pushing our partners to export market. Pushing, it sounds really funny, but anyway, this is what you have to do. It's not an easy task to go to the international markets with your solutions, because Estonia is a beautiful place where to live. I absolutely love living here in Estonia, but it's such a small country, and you need to develop your solutions also for the international markets. And so it's a kind of ecosystem to support businesses in the health and care sector. What we do, we provide business support for innovation and development. And for that, we organize different workshops and seminars and events. We do have mentors pool to develop, to support development of your solutions. Bridging different health technology stakeholders into one ecosystem. So it's also very important because, as I said, health insurance fund, for instance, is really key player in Estonian market. And without having them as part of the ecosystem, it's pretty difficult to develop innovative solutions here in Estonia. You need to have them on board as well, so they know what to do, what you are doing, and then later on they are willing also to reimburse your solutions. Export activities. we go to the different expos, seminars, events, and yeah, exchanging contacts from different international networks. So it's really intense work to create this kind of international network to go to the international markets with our solutions. And you might think that European Union is one big union, but it's not the case in healthcare. Every single country is really, you come to Estonia with your solution, you have to do your work from the scratch. You go to Finland, you might think that even the language is almost the same. Completely different healthcare market again, and you have to start from the scratch to go to the market there as well. For instance, we have a cross-border healthcare service between Finland and Estonia. It's a prescription between Finland and Estonia, and implementing this prescription was pretty difficult because, you know, really we have, if you go to the details, legislation is completely different, starting from the moment when in Estonia on the prescription, you only can mention active ingredient. In Finland, you can write the brand name and, you know, this kind of small things. So it's completely different systems. And going to Latvia, again, completely different. So going to the different European markets, you need to start basically from the zero, entering every market. Okay, let's see, funding. We do co-finance some development projects between our cluster members. And of course, we share information about, and we are part of different projects, and we do subgranting to our members as well. And yeah, we support in every way we can our members to find investors, to find partners, and to go to the markets in different countries. What else? Yeah, and then ecosystem activities. It's a communication with the ecosystem, or sort of educational events, fun events, sharing best practices, and also we organize members events to other members. So, you know, it's even though Estonians are quite strange people, we like to be alone. We don't spend too much time together. You are laughing because you know that. It's true, but still, sometimes we like to come together and also to have fun and to discuss different issues and topics. So organizing events is also important even for Estonians. So yeah, here you can find my contacts. And now it's time to have some questions. I can see that there is something in the chat. Okay. How can we run our solution as a pilot in some hospital in Estonia to prove the solution value proposition? There is home medicines review. What is home medicines? I don't know actually what you mean by that, but talking about the hospitals, then it's a tricky question. You need to, we do have partners, hospitals as our partners, and usually it works this way that your solution has to match with the interest of the hospital. They do have written protocol, but you know, every case is individual, so you still have to have a negotiations. You have to have certain technology readiness level with your solution, of course, and then when you reach the agreement, then you are free to go. We have also one, I don't know exactly what is the solution you're talking about, but we do also have one very small hospital. What they do is mostly they do rehabilitation, but also other treatment routines are also possible. They have really pretty well established pathway how to test in your your solution in the hospital. What is important to acknowledge is that this kind of solutions, when you have to embed your solution right away into the hospital system, not going to happen. Not going to happen. We have done this several times. You need, it's the best way if you have the solution that you can connect and then disconnect from the hospital system, then it's doable. But we have tried this kind of, that like doing like this right away for the pilot hospitals. I do understand they don't want to do this. So because this kind of big system still, you can test it, but it doesn't mean that they will buy it right away, because everything that they buy, hospitals, what they buy, it goes through tenders. So piloting is one thing, but actually getting them to buy your solutions, you have to go through the tenders. So that's why they don't want to give you full access to the system. So otherwise, later on, they can't get rid of you. So it doesn't work like this. So, but connecting through API, it's the best way to do. And if you have some physical things to test, it's much more easier. And also, if you want to test some processes or something like this, it's also doable. But every single time you have to negotiate separately. Solutions in the area of e-health, smart audio voice, okay, voice recognition for radiology reports and telemedicine platform followed by phone. Okay, in Estonia we are also developing this voice recognition. Our pain is that in Estonia we have less than 1 million people who are speaking in Estonian. And those voice recognition systems, I do understand that in Brazil, Portuguese language, you have like, I don't know, millions and millions of speakers, and you can develop your speech recognition system easy. But Estonian language, it's pretty tricky, and government is working on it, and it's on the way. It's on the way, but still we are struggling with it. But yeah, good to know that you have this voice recognition. Okay, Piret, with such high level of digitalization, what would be the opportunities for Brazilians health techs? Endless, I would say. So we like, yeah, the market is open in that sense. But entering the market, I would say it's difficult. It's never easy. I can assume that it doesn't. It's not only in Estonia that it's difficult. It's everywhere. It's difficult. The best way is to actually to establish your startup or your company here in Estonia, which is a really easy thing to do. And you can probably explain it later. It takes only, I don't know, 20 minutes and it's done, and no big paperwork or anything. So it's doable, it's easy. And then you can start developing your business here. And although I said that every single country in terms of healthcare is different in Europe, but still, if you are already part of European Union, it's easier anyway to go to Finland or to other countries as well. So, but the easiest, the first step is to establish your company here in Estonia, and probably you can do this as well as an e-resident, so you don't even have to physically be here. So it's doable. Any other questions?
Yes, there's actually one more question, and thank you very much for the presentation and the answers. So how's the relationship between the pharma companies, the drug producers, and the doctors in Estonia in general?
It's highly regulated. It's really highly regulated. It's we have very strict rules, how you can communicate, when you can communicate, what you can do with the pharmacist. You have to report every single thing you do. It's highly regulated, I would say, and it has to be really transparent as well. So it is in that sense, but I would say it's doable if you follow the rules. Then you can basically do everything. Some doctors, of course, are also like spokespersons or opinion leaders, not the pharmaceutical, not the pharmaceutical companies, but some conditions, or some topics. And then of course some pharmaceutical companies are specifically related to this topic. But the work is really transparent, I have to say. Pharmaceutical companies are also part of our Connected Health cluster. But the reason for them to be there is because they don't need any support, but they are actually funding some hackathons, some initiatives to support innovation in the health and care sector. So, and it's done really in a very transparent manner. We always say that this initiative started from, I don't know, from Johnson & Johnson or from AstraZeneca, and usually they do the first steps together with the startups, and then they release the initiative. Then they tell to the startup, now you're like on your own, and usually they don't have any kind of sense of ownership there anymore. Except, of course, if the startup is strong enough, then they might accept them to, pharmaceutical companies, they do have also accelerator programs. And then these startups can join to these programs if they are good enough for that. So, but I would say that it's highly regulated, really transparent, but it's doable. There is collaboration between doctors and the pharmaceutical companies also here in Estonia.
Okay, great, because this was my next question. So you think it's relevant if Brazilians come to Estonia, they should also take a time to visit one pharma company? Do they have relevant production in Estonia, or is mostly R&D?
No, we don't even have R&D. It's we do have some biotech companies, smaller ones, local ones, who are producing antibodies or doing some sort of like very, very, very small stuff. Unfortunately, in Estonia, we do not have pharmaceutical industry at all. What we have here is branches of the international companies like AstraZeneca, Johnson & Johnson, like all the others as well. So, but they even don't have this research and development or R&D units here in Estonia.
Okay. All right. So yes, what you mentioned about opening the company in Estonia, this would be the first step, probably. This is the Enrique's question, because as I realized, once you are based in Estonia, you are treated as Estonian company, like you are, one of us or one of them.
Yeah, not only Estonian company, but EU company.
EU company, yeah, for sure. So then you can participate into incubators, accelerators, and the whole
tenders.
Yeah.
Tenders also, yeah.
Tenders. Yeah.
So everything is then the door is open.
All right. I would like to also see if Emanuela has any comments about the other questions. Manu, se tiver algum ponto aí para complementar também, só para a gente fazer o giro.
Sim, obrigada, Perê. Enfim, estou encantada, assim. Eu estou assim com a cabeça tentando como implementar no nosso país, né, como o Brasil, multicultural, que tem desafios, né, em cada região. A minha pergunta é sobre o marco regulatório, né? Vocês iniciaram a saúde digital em 1995, né? Como é que foi esse processo em conjunto? Porque aqui no Brasil, a gente aprovou agora a telemedicina, mas já estava no processo há 10 anos, né? A gente demorou bastante por conta dessa multicultural, por conta de multirregiões, porque é muito grande, né? A gente entende que o Brasil é um país com alguns desafios, né? Como eu brinco, eu não posso comparar a região sul, o sudeste, norte e nordeste, né? Porque realmente são desafios diferentes. Aí eu queria entender como é que foi esse processo do marco regulatório das soluções dentro da Estônia, né? Obrigada.
Nada. Okay, Peter. So Manuela said your presentation was amazing. She's still trying to wrap her head about so many insights you gave her. And also the specific question is related to the regulatory framework in medicine, in the health sector in general. So it all started, the digitalization process you mentioned in 1995. So how was the policy making, the legislation, the approvals and so on? Because it's kind of tricky, right? Brazil took 10 years to approve the telemedicine. There was 10 years in the making, the law. because then you have to consider the whole regional differences between like each province in Brazil. So, you know, have more, some are more developed and wealthy, some are less. And how was this? Did you participate, or you probably experienced that, right? Yeah.
So yeah, it's a very relevant question. Of course, the legislation and everything started even before the 95 years, 95. So it started, but what maybe there are some really important elements. One is that there has to be political will, really, and it all started top down. Actually, yeah. The government decided that digitalization is the way to go, and this was decided, and that's it. No buts. And then it all started to develop from there. So it is important to acknowledge that or understand that it was a kind of really strongly led political process before that. So, and in Estonia, one thing, what is, maybe it's good, maybe it's bad, I don't know. We decided from the beginning that we have opt-out system here. So it means that we are all automatically inside the system. So we can't get out from there. The only thing what we can do is we can close our data. So doctors do not see everything what is written in our health record. So this is what we can do, but we can't delete our data, and it's there. Even when it's empty, I don't have health data, I'm healthy, but my name, you can still find my name in this medical health record, and all the information is there. So this is something that is really important. And yeah, legislation, it's not easy. We have a lot of different laws touching this digitalization and healthcare service provider provision, and we are still changing the laws all the time. New services are coming, we have to change the laws. So it's an ongoing process. But the important thing is that you have this strategic goal, you know where you want to get, and laws, of course, are they are changeable. It's sometimes they tell me that, okay, law doesn't allow us to do this. It's like, come on, who made the law? We made it, so we can change it. And because times are changing, and you need to have the fresh approach all the time. Of course, it's really important to mention, and you can probably also agree with me, that Estonians, we do trust our government to some point. Maybe nowadays it's a bit difficult, but in principle, we do trust digital solutions, we do trust our government. And we have a democratic order here, also very important. I can't see that this kind of system works in Belarus. No way. So you need to have the whole political system has to support the development of digital solutions. In Estonia, of course, it's a small country, as I said, and we don't have different regions here. It's only one small Estonia. That's why it's maybe a bit easier, and the law is the same everywhere. But I would say that the first thing is that strong political will, strong political leadership, and really clear strategic view or goal where you want to go. And then you start building this different laws supporting your activities and your services. And we do have a lot of laws supporting, or sometimes not supporting.
Yes, the coordination with European Union laws, right? And
yeah, of course, this is also something that
it really gets a bit more complex. All right. Okay, let me see. I shared the e-residency link for people here, so we have some entrepreneurs in the room. But yes, unfortunately, our time is up. I think we could spend a few more hours maybe going, into discussions and diving deeper. But again, I think for first presentation was amazing, and now people can, read the materials, go through them, and get some more details. And of course, we will stay in touch and try to interact more. What I want to do for the next round is also to provide you with some more context about Brazil, and then you can make the links yourselves and even like with the companies you're involved with and so on. Because I think Brazil has some interesting stuff to offer, either in terms of opportunities, you know, interoperability is a big topic now, it's being discussed a lot. The private hospitals, for example, private healthcare market in Brazil is huge, big budgets, and they are taking this agenda like part of what the public sector was supposed to do, because as they are private players, they are struggling because there's no such digital government solutions, you know, so they are trying to help the government in building this and understanding this. So this is nice because they are doing like, yeah, they're playing their part beyond just, you know, trying to be efficient, making a profit and so on.
Okay, thank you.
Any final considerations or, you know, just feel free.
Yeah, with my presentation, I always a little bit scratched the surface, so it's was like marking the different topics that are important, or not even all the topics that are important. So there is definitely things that we could or you should dig deeper, and but yeah, keywords are there, so you can study yourself and then prepare for your visit to Estonia in the future.
Yes, hopefully. And you in Brazil, you know, now you have many new friends. You can either choose which region or city you want to go, you know.
Looking at the Estonian summer, maybe it's not that bad idea at all. So we still have like 10 degrees and nothing happens, although it's almost summer. So
yes, this year is really strange. We don't know what's going on, but
yeah, it's really cold.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, thank you for inviting me and having me, and so see you next time.
Yeah, our pleasure. Take care. Have a good weekend.
Obrigada.
Okay, bye.
Bye, bye. Isso aí, pessoal. Espero que tenha dado um entendimento aí inicial, né? A gente sabe que é bastante coisa, é um país diferente, uma estrutura diferente, mas acho que vocês conseguiram captar aí a essência da apresentação dela. E vocês viram que o estoniano é super aberto, assim, eles gostam de falar sobre a Estônia, compartilhar, então vai muito da gente, né, de tomar a iniciativa aí e realmente perguntar ou mostrar o que a gente tem feito, né, não ficar com receio, putz, será que estou indo errado? Será que vou falar besteira? Eu acho que a conversa tem que ser franca e aberta. E aí vocês imaginam o que é uma visita presencial, né? Assim, a gente tem relatos aí de pessoas muito experientes do governo brasileiro ou de empresas que já viajaram ao mundo, mas quando eles vão para a Estônia, não sei se porque o país é pequeno, você consegue ver muita coisa e aí tudo se encaixa, né? Talvez muitas vezes me pergunto, pô, o que na Estônia especificamente eu vou ver? Eu falo, cara, não tem uma bala de prata, é o todo, né? Você vê a combinação da lei com a educação, com a tecnologia, com o governo, com as pessoas, né? E aí, pum, aí você tem essa que de fato eles chamam como sociedade digital. Então, eu acho que esse é um pouco da ideia, do espírito aqui. E, de novo, estamos à disposição, quem quiser mandar uma mensagem, contato@estoniahub.com.br, a gente pode bater papo com mais calma. Agradeço novamente aí, Manuela, ABSS, todo mundo, né, que também está participando aí, assistindo, pelas perguntas e tudo mais. Infelizmente eu preciso sair, eu já estou até atrasado com um outro bate-papo aqui, mas vamos falando, eu mandei aí o link para vocês do programa do E-Residência, tem um escritório em São Paulo, então basicamente quero abrir o meu CNPJ na Estônia, como eu faço? O primeiro passo é esse link, você vai preencher um formulário, 120 euros, aí você espera 6 a 8 semanas, retira o cartão em São Paulo, e aí pronto, você depois tem uma outra taxa para abrir a empresa, o CNPJ na Estônia. E aí igual ela falou, se conectar ali com o ecossistema, né, conhecer as pessoas, e aí começar a participar de aceleração, incubação, enfim, o caminho é esse. Não é tão mágico, né, papum, abrir a empresa sim é a parte fácil, mas acho que essa parte de estratégia, de conhecer as pessoas, tem brasileiros com empresas abertas, ou até morando na Estônia, empreendendo também, dá para apresentar para vocês. Na área da saúde, acho que está começando agora, retomando, né, tipo, depois do auge da pandemia, mas eu acho que tem uma super oportunidade aí, e o Brasil é referência, tá, em termos de tecnologia, os desenvolvedores brasileiros, então eu acho que a gente consegue competir, ou pelo menos dialogar de igual para igual. Beleza? Então, acho que esse é o meu recado. Não sei se você tem algum ponto aí, Manu, Camila.
Não, eu achei muito bom. Eu estou cheia de dúvidas aqui. Acho que a gente tinha... Acho que eu tentaria o dia inteiro aqui, né? Só para falar sobre isso. Mas acho que como dever de casa, a gente olhar, né, todo esse material e também deixar aqui aberto o espaço da associação para vocês, tá? Eu já estou com algumas ideias aqui, tá, Camila? Depois a gente troca algumas figurinhas de como a gente pode ajudar as startups, né, a internacionalizar dentro da Europa, dentro da Estônia. Eu acho que vai ter que ser um trabalho de um passo a passo mesmo, né? Acho que a gente pode criar alguns materiais falando sobre isso, mas assim, eu estou muito encantada e muito curiosa como implementar aqui no Brasil. Eu sei que a gente tem alguns desafios, mas parabéns, gente, muito legal, eu gostei muito.
Show, que bom. A gente está ainda afinando, né, esse entrosamento com as apresentações, os tonianos, tem bastante gente para falar aqui, a gente mapeou pelo menos uns 40, 50, né, estonianos, entidades, tem universidade, tem hospital, dá para falar com muita gente mesmo, e a gente tem feito esse trabalho aí de aproximar. Eles se interessam pelo Brasil, porque também para eles é muito novo, né, então eles ficam até surpresos, assim, porque você viu ela falando, pô, vocês têm muita gente, é muito grande, etc, né, e eles não conhecem mesmo. Assim, a visão do estoniano desse lado de cá do mundo, ou do hemisfério sul, é tipo México, ele vai para o Caribe, ou Cancún, algumas vezes, e é
verdade.
isso. O Brasil é casos muito específicos, e para eles faz sentido. Então, acho que é nessa linha. Beleza. Valeu
Muito
aí,
bom.
todo mundo. Cristiano, que tá aí até o final, o Eduardo, o Henrique. Show de bola. Então, estamos à disposição. Só dá um toque aí, a gente se fala mais.
Beleza. Aí depois a gente divulga também esse vídeo para as nossas redes. Acho que é legal para todo mundo visualizar.
Maravilha. Fechado, então. Obrigado aí também, Betânia. Um abraço a todo mundo. Bom final de semana e até a próxima.
Obrigada, pessoal. Um abraço.
Tchau, galera. Um abração. Até mais. Tchau, tchau.